I had a chemical imbalance in my brain that was dragging me down, holding me down. I still get angry, I still get sad, but it's a range of emotions. I feel happier, I feel positive, I feel more passionate about things. Let's embrace mental health in a positive way, not in a needy way, not in a simpy way, not in a way which is like, oh yeah, toughen up, son, because that's not good either. In a nice, balanced way. There's been 3 main side effects. The first one, right guys, well, I'm here on holiday, as you can see, and what I wanted to do today was to do a special video, special video, where I'm going to talk about things. I want to get a bit serious for a moment. So I've been suffering with depression my whole life, and normally I get seasonal depression when it gets dark, and last year in particular it was very, very bad. I mean, very, very bleak. I had very, very low self-worth, very low confidence, no energy whatsoever, more so than usual. So that's when I decided to start taking antidepressants, and specifically Escitalopram. Now, when I first got prescribed them, there were so many videos on YouTube that were like, oh, don't take Escitalopram, which is also Lexapro. It's a nightmare. You fuck yourself up, da da da. And I was initially put off and I didn't take them. So I'd been prescribed them by a doctor, but I didn't take them. And then I started taking them after another depressive episode. And I've now been on them for 3 months. And I have to say that it's night and day. It really is night and day. For me, I know a lot of people say that they try them and they don't work. Some people say the side effects are too much. And that was what initially put me off, because I was scared of the side effects, which I'm going to talk about the side effects actually that I've had. I can only talk about my experience, of course, but I have to say it's been really good. And I feel so much better about myself. I feel happier. I feel positive. I feel more passionate about things. Namely, look, what I'm doing now, making a YouTube video about it. Before, I don't think I ever would have done that. I have the passion now to get on with doing stuff like this. And I enjoy doing this as well. This is another thing that's happened to me. It's changed my perspective on life, where before I was like aiming for the result, for the happiness. So once I hit this mark, then I get the endorphins, then I get the happiness. Whereas now, I just enjoy doing it. I enjoy the process, which is fantastic. It's like, it feels like for me, everything has come together. Now, I'll add as a caveat that I have been also doing talk therapy for about 2-3 years. And that has been working, and that has been helpful. And I think, I'll say this now, that you need both. You need the therapy and you need the antidepressants. And you have a nice mix of both. And I think that's how you get your yin and yang. Speaking of yin and yang, I feel so much more balanced in my mood. See, what used to happen with me was I'd be fine, and then something would happen and it would have like a domino effect. And the next thing, I'd be feeling absolutely worthless. And it'd be just one little thing that could happen, maybe a comment that someone says or anything, and it would just send me plummeting down. Whereas now, I don't really have that. I still get angry, I still get sad, but it's a range of emotions. I don't fall into those spirals that I used to. Another benefit that I've had is that my anxieties come right down, and in particular before shows, when I'm doing my stand-up comedy, now I hardly get any nerves at all. Now, obviously, I've heard the stories about people not being able to get off them and it being a nightmare, and then this is like the honeymoon period. But fuck it, man. I'd say that's another thing as well that I've got from this. I'm a lot more indifferent in a good way. So I'm like, meh, who cares, man? Who cares? If something goes wrong, like I'm on holiday right now and my car got scraped up, right? I don't know what happened there. Maybe it was me, maybe it was a driver when I was parked. But I'm just like, oh, fuck it. Who gives a fuck? It's like you can't even be bothered to get stressed, It's not worth it. What's the point? Just relax, man. So now I know you all want to know the side effects, right? Side effect. For me, there's been 3 main side effects. The first one, more than the other 2 combined, has been, I'm going to call it sleep/dreams, okay? I've been having the craziest, weirdest dreams that you could possibly imagine. Random dreams within dreams within dreams, like Inception, where you wake up, you're still in a dream, and then you wake up again and you're still in a dream. Mad. I've never had dreams like that before. I would say it's comparable, actually. If you've ever done, I shouldn't probably say this, and this might get cut. If you've ever done Mandy, hopefully I'll get away with saying Mandy. There's echoes of that Mandy, especially when I first started taking it. There was little side effects when I first started taking it. The drowsiness was the main one when I first started taking it. Very, very drowsy. And then what I did was I switched the time I took it. So instead of taking it at 9 o'clock in the morning, I was taking it at 6 o'clock at night, and that kind of fixed it, because by the time I was getting drowsy, I was ready for bed anyway. And that actually helped me sleep, a lot better. Now that's kind of gone. Also chattering teeth a little bit as well. But the main one is the drowsiness. And you kind of have this euphoric effect, which is sort of like echoes of Mandy, which I think essentially is what it is. It's that kind of drug. So that's what the main side effects has been sleep. When you are on Mandy, you do have those types of dreams, right? So especially if you've had a lot of it. So that is kind of the worst of the side effects, if you want to call it a side effect. And that has affected my sleep, because I just simply don't sleep as deeply as I used to. I used to sleep quite deeply from time to time. I've been taking magnesium to try and counteract that, but still it feels light, and sometimes you feel like you haven't really slept because you've been dreaming so much. It's like your mind has been racing constantly. So that's the main side effect for me. Second, I would say, I'm going to talk about it because I talk about everything here. I talk about absolutely everything. Second was and is the delayed orgasm. That means that it takes a little bit more time, or sometimes you don't even, finish. Which is interesting. I mean, they say as well that you're supposed to have a diminished libido. That has not been the case. In fact, it's been the opposite for me. I felt a lot more, I want to try and come up with a nicer word than horny. Rambunctious. Does that work? Let's go with rambunctious. I felt a lot more rambunctious, and I've been enjoying it more. I've been enjoying the dating. That's another benefit, I would say. The dating game for me, just to sort of move on to this for a second. I don't know how this is going to be edited up, but I'm just going to do it. Dating game for me, I used to be a very, very glass half empty person. I used to have an attitude of, oh, the girls, they have so much choice. Why would they be interested in me? La, 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 la. Now, I'm the exact opposite. I'm a glass half full type of person now when it comes to dating. And that has been completely down to the drugs. I have now sort of seen it as like, okay, this is great. There's so many single girls knocking about. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what damage we can do. And having a positive attitude about it. And overall, with everything, that has just swayed into everything. Positive attitude about everything now. Whereas before, okay, I was forcing myself to have a positive attitude, doing my affirmations every day, whatever it might be, trying to always have a positive mindset, frame it positively. But then like deep down, I'll be like, yeah, but I know it's not going to work. Da, da, da. That's completely gone. With my business, I used to fret on a monthly basis about cash, if we're going to get a business, if we're going to get business, if we're going to carry on. what if the business closes, da, da, da. Now I'm like, nah, it's going to be fucking amazing. Positivity, positivity, positivity. And that's all down to the fucking drugs. What I do think though, what I think it is though, let me say this. I think that I had a chemical imbalance in my brain that was dragging me down, holding me down. And I was always pushing myself to be positive all the time, trying to counteract that, right? But at the end of the day, it was a chemical imbalance in my brain. And now that chemical imbalance has been lifted and it's been fixed, all this positivity that I've been trying to force myself into is now coming through, like in a big way. So it's not like the drugs are making me positive. It's the drugs are allowing me to be positive, if that makes sense. So I wouldn't say it's like, okay, I'm taking these drugs, now I'm positive. I was always trying to be positive and I was always trying to have a positive mindset, but I was just being held back by the malaise of my depression. Have I felt any depressive moments since I've been taking the drugs? Yes, there was one time, but there was 1 week when I was particularly grumpy, but it was also coincided with a week where I was not having any caffeine, I wasn't having any alcohol, and I wasn't having any cigarettes. So maybe you could say, well, anyone would be pissed off on a week like that, right? But other than that, no spiraling lows. If you were to sort of calculate it on a sort of like out of 10 basis, I would say that my mood has not gone below 4 out of 10 under any circumstance. And I would say average is now like 6, 7. Whereas before I started taking Escitalopram, it would average maybe like, honestly, about 4 or 5 out of 10 a day. I would be more in the lower half than the top half. Side effects. So that was the second side effect, delayed orgasm, which it's not that bad. I mean, you can go longer, right? And, you know, it's kind of cool, like fucking a girl and you never come, which is like what it is like on Mandy, right? That happens for me on Mandy. The third side effect, which I'm kind of like, it's like a half side effect because I've always had issues with my guts. I would say that it kind of gives you a bit of diarrhea more than you would normally. But I've always had issues with my stomach. So I don't know if that is a side effect or if it's just my stomach. I don't know. But I would say overall it's been absolute positive and I wish I'd started it sooner. But having said that, it's perfect now. All the stars are aligning. All that positive energy that I was trying to enforce in myself previously, all the good habits that I've had, they're all now, because I've got the mood now, my mood is better, they're all now paying dividends. And you know what it feels like? It feels like things are just starting to get spicy. They're just starting to get spicy. I tell you this now, this time next year, I'm going to be in, well, wherever I am, I know I'm going to be happy, and that's the most important thing. And you know, I'm happy with everything now in my life. I mean, the main thing that really got me was last year when I was in this depressive episode, which I was properly depressed for a few months, and I would describe it as I was rotting on the inside. I was rotting on the inside. You couldn't necessarily tell that I was sad. Maybe you see him and you go, yeah, maybe there's something wrong with him, but he seems normal enough. I was rotting on the inside, and it's been transformative, and I'm just so happy that I started doing it. And I had the thing that really got me back then, which made me move on to the drugs, was I had nothing to be sad about. There was nothing but positivity in my life. Things were moving forward, things were looking really good, and yet I was still sad. It's like, what? So that kind of made me think, like, there has to be something wrong here. Started taking the drugs, and so far so good. I'm so glad I started doing them. I'm going to endorse them. And if you are, I will stress this though, the things I would really, the three things that if you are watching this and you've got all the way through this video, these are the 3 takeaways I would take from this. Okay, 3 takeaways. Are you ready? So number 1, you still need to have positive habits. You can't just rely on the drugs. Okay, you still have to have positive habits trying to get yourself in a positive mindset, doing things, maybe it's meditation, maybe it's yoga, maybe it's exercise, things to help your mental health. You still have to do those. You can't just rely completely on the drugs. It doesn't work that way. Secondly, I think really it has to be coupled with therapy, talk therapy or whatever therapy it is that you're doing. I think preferably talk therapy. And I think having that clearness of mind that the drugs give you, that the Escitalopram gives you, and also having someone to talk to, I think those are the perfect marriage. And I think that is what makes it really work. Third thing I'll say is, if you are going to give it a go, make sure you actually give it the full 6 weeks at least before, because you don't apparently have any benefits. I mean, I had benefits straight away. I could feel it straight away. But it's not, it's not the be all and end all. You have to really give it a go. And if it doesn't work for you, that's fine. You got to just try and figure out something else that works for you. It might be a case that you have to rely on other things or other drugs. I don't know. I'm not a professional, okay? All I know is that it worked for me. I'm very happy with the results. I'm really happy with everything right now. And another thing as well, I'll just add, the energy levels that I've got now, comparatively, and okay, it is the summer. So, when it's dark, you're like, but my energy levels are so much more than they were before. And I feel passionate. I feel happy to wake up in the morning and up for it, I'm up for the day now. Whereas before I was just like, oh, what is the point of this? Chalk and cheese for me. I mean, if anyone's watching this, I'm a young man, so it's like, the thing that put me off as well about doing this, a lot of these videos are just like, oh yeah, I'm depressed. Because the thing is as well, it's 2025, but when someone says that they're depressed or have mental health issues, a lot of people either just turn off straight away because they don't want to know, or they go, oh yeah, this guy, he's mental. Yeah, he's mental, this guy. Or they want like this whole pity parade of like, yeah, we're all suffering, aren't we? Yeah, isn't life shit? Yeah, we're all patients, aren't we? We're all fucking, and I don't want any of those things, okay? All those to me are bad. All three of those are bad. What this should be is just like exercise keeps your body fit. This is just a means of keeping your mind fit. That's all it is. And it shouldn't be made any more than that, and it shouldn't be made any less of that. So maybe that's how I'm going to leave this one. Let's embrace mental health in a positive way, not in a needy way, not in a simpy way, not in a way which is like, oh yeah, toughen up, son, because that's not good either. In a nice, balanced way. Right, anyway, I'm rambling on. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my holiday. I'm going to go have a... You know what? I might actually have a beer from the minibar, go down to the pool and get in the fucking sun, and I'm going to have a fucking nice day of it. Because I'm on Escitalopram and I'm loving my life. Peace and love.